we're now going to look at another way to display data, and that's going to be considered a dot plot. And literally, we're going to put a dot for every individual. And so what's going to happen is this is a very nice, quick way to organize our data when we have data that's less than 50, fewer than 50 values. Okay, if we have more than 50 values, we definitely don't want to use a dot plot. But if we have fewer than 50 values, we can use a dot plot. We're going to draw a number line down here at the bottom. I am going to put my title, age of students at Vega Elementary. Oh, guess I gotta spell that correctly, don't I? Let me get my eraser here. Okay, my smallest number looks like it's 5 because we're talking about elementary students. So I'm going to say 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to spread these out a little bit more. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You try to want to make sure that they're spread out evenly, just like a normal number line. And then I'm going to go through here. This student is 5, so I'm going to put, you can either put a dot or an X for the individual. So this student is 8. This one is 10. The next one is 11. The next two are 8. So I'm going to put an X on top. So basically I'm building up, kind of like a bar graph, but instead of a bar, I'm putting X's or dots for each individual. Then we have a 6, we have a 9, a 7, another 10, a 5, another 6, another 8, another 7, and another 8. And I'm going to put down here just the ages. Okay? And that's literally what a dot plot is. Now, if we look at some examples of the dot plots, we can see several features. One of those features, if we look at this one where we have the scores of on Abel's class test, so these are the scores on an exam, you'll notice that most of the scores are right here between 70 and 98. But notice this one down here. This one is much lower than the others, so this one would be considered an outlier. Dot plots help us identify those outliers. Outliers are values that are significantly greater than or less than other values. It also helps us identify clusters, those isolated groups of points. So we have kind of a cluster here. It's out, away from the others. We also have large clusters and everything here. It allows us to identify gaps. We have a gap right here. And then obviously we have a major gap here. The count or measurement of an object that appears the most often is called the mode. And so basically we look and say, okay, which one has the most X's or the most dots? Well, right here, 82 has 4 dots, or 4 X's. All the others at most have 3. So 82 is going to be our mode because it has the most. And we'll discuss it a little bit later in the chapter as well. If you do this on grid paper, then you can shade, and it'll look just like a bar graph, like I was talking about. It's like creating bars over these X's instead of just the dots or anything. And that's what a dot plot is.